Okay, here we go. Welcome back to Almost Above Average. I am Chris McIntyre, and Trump just gave what I'm calling the State of the Union disaster. 108 minutes of lies, delusion, and some please clap for me energy. And somehow he still couldn't find 10 seconds to acknowledge the Epstein survivors sitting right in front of him. Today, we're going to roll the worst clips, fact check them in real time, and talk about why refusing to address the Epstein on that stage says more than any other line in the speech. Now, let's get into it. Let's start with the opening, because within the first minute, he's already selling a fantasy America that does not exist outside of his teleprompter.
2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America.
Right out the gate, richer and stronger than ever. Fact checkers from CNN, NPR, PBS, the AP, everybody all say the same thing. The economy is not in some historic golden age. Growth has slowed. Inflation has come down, but it's not plummeting like they say. And most Americans tell pollsters they feel worse off compared to a few years ago. This is classic Trump. If he says stronger than ever enough times, he thinks your grocery bill will be too confused to argue with you. Next up, immigration. This might be the biggest whiplash moment in the whole speech. Hey, real quick, if you made it this far in the video, please know that I appreciate it more than you know. If you would, please take a second to hit subscribe, smash that like button, and drop a comment so I know you're rocking with me. And if you're new here, welcome to the Almost Above Average podcast. I'm Chris McIntyre, and around here we push back on the MAGA lies, we break down the political circus, and we share empowering stories from real people actually living this stuff. So hit subscribe, join the community, and let's keep this thing going. Back to the video.
Today, our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. And our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked. And America is respected again, perhaps like never before.
He says our border is secure, like we don't have Google. Fact checks point that our unlawful crossings are still high by historical standards, and his own administration keeps using the border crisis line to justify detention spending and crackdowns. And in the same speech, he fearmongers about migrant crime, throws out inflated numbers about murders coming across the border, and repeats myths about the election cheating tied to non-citizens voting.
In which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked. We now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far.
All rated false or pants on fire by every outlet that bothered to count. This is like saying your house is secure while you stand in front of a broken door yelling about burglars. Pick a freaking lane. Then he hits the economy again, but this time with specifics. And they're still all wrong.
Today, our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. And our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked. And America is respected again, perhaps like never before.
PolitiFact, CNN, and NPR all basically say, no, it's not. Inflation has come down from its peaks, but it's not plummeting. And wage growth adjusted for inflation is not some unprecedented rocket ship. Meanwhile, the Fed's own folks are warning about planned layoffs and a shaky labor market in 26. People are feeling squeezed on housing, credit cards, and groceries. So yeah, the only thing roaring is your bank app yelling at you at 2 a.m. with overdraft fees. Then we get into his favorite combo plate, crime and migrants. This is where the speech really turns into Facebook uncle energy.
Stop illegal aliens and others who are unpermitted persons from voting in our sacred American elections. That cheating is rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID. And we present a lot of the people that we capture, the murderers, the drug dealers, the people that came into our country illegally and have already committed massive crimes. We had 11,888 murderers, and Many of them are in your prisons right now, right?
Let's fact check that. He throws out a big number of murderers supposedly entering as migrants, but fact checkers say that number completely mangles federal data and lumps in all non-citizens convicted of homicide over time, not some wave of fresh killers crossing yesterday. He claims cheating in elections is rampant, despite every serious study showing voter fraud is extremely rare. And he pushes the idea that non-citizens voting is a huge problem, which multiple Republican and Democrat election officials have said it's flat out false. He's lying. What he's saying is not just incorrect, it's designed to make you scared, angry, and easier to manipulate. But he also can't resist rewriting his tax record.
Last year, I urged this Congress to begin the mission by passing the largest tax cuts in American history, and our Republican majorities delivered so beautifully. Thank you, Republicans.
Reality check. Independent analysis rank his tax law way below the largest tax cuts in history. Think 7th by GDP share, not number 1. 7th. And he did not eliminate taxes on Social Security. A temporary deduction helps some seniors over 65, but plenty of Social Security recipients still pay taxes on their benefits, and younger recipients are left out entirely. So he's literally standing in front of millions of people telling Social Security recipients, congrats, you don't have to pay taxes anymore, when a huge chunk of them will absolutely find that out it's not true in the next filing season. That's not leadership. That's setting people up for a very ugly April. And we've got to talk about his favorite big number, the imaginary 18 trillion.
Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security.
CNN's fact check points out that his own White House brag sheet only lists about 9.7 trillion in major investment announcements. And even that number is padded with vague trade and economic exchange promises, not actual money hitting the ground. 18 trillion is just made up. If I told my roofing clients I had 18 trillion in confirmed projects, I'd expect them to ask why I'm still driving a normal truck, you know? Now let's talk about what he didn't say, because sometimes silence is the loudest part of a speech. More than a dozen Epstein survivors were at the State of the Union this year, invited by Democrats who explicitly said that they were there to demand the full release of the Epstein files, as required by law, and to remind Trump that the powerful do not get to bury this.
Survivors of Epstein's abuse and 2 family members who tell me they feel that the Justice Department is not taking accountability. We've got that conversation here on our NBC News Now special coverage. Thank you all so much for being here. I know you literally have just come over off of Capitol Hill, where the Attorney General had appeared for that hearing in front of the House Judiciary Committee. I want to do just a couple of show of hands moments on how you feel about that, and then I want to talk about your reaction to everything we heard today. So with the show of hands, can you show me your hands if you were satisfied with what you heard from the Attorney General today? Nobody. Show of hands if you are frustrated with what you heard.
Very much so.
Very much so. Teresa, tell me more about that.
Well, going into this morning, and much of this process, I have this perspective that you need to give people the opportunity to do what they say they're going to do, to fulfill their word, put their money where their mouth is, so to speak. And we have yet again seen that go the complete opposite direction.
BBC, USA Today, others all reported this before the speech. Survivors held a press conference. They said, do not look away. They said, we are not going away. We are not fading into the silence. They said they would keep coming back until all the Epstein documents are released, and good on them. And what does the President of the United States do with those women literally sitting in the room? He says absolutely nothing. He doesn't acknowledge them at all. He doesn't look them in the face. No promise of transparency. No, we will release the files moment. Not even a generic, we see you. Nothing from the President of the United States to the survivors of the Epstein scandal. Your job is to make the nation feel like you want the truth on the table. And if, in that moment, with survivors in the balcony, cameras on you, and the whole world watching, you still won't even say their names or promise to release the files, you are telling us everything we need to know. Does that make you legally guilty? That's for the courts. But morally, public trust-wise, if you won't address it, you are acting guilty. Innocent people don't run from transparency. They sprint toward it. So Trump's State of the Union disaster wasn't just long. It was packed with lies about the economy, immigration, crime, taxes, and fantasy trillions. And then it skipped the one thing that could have shown real courage, facing Epstein survivors and promising full transparency. And if you want more breakdowns where we roll the tape, check the facts, and we talk about what this means for real people, hit like, drop a comment with the worst lie that you heard in the speech, and subscribe to the Almost Above Average podcast on YouTube. I'm Chris McIntyre. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.